Hello, guys. This is I'll say, the revamp of the consulting company that you know me for, AEX Consulting, and our law firm, Garrido Garrido, which is the law firm that is a family office business where we have around 20,000 hectares ourselves in unison with the real estate uh, legal company. So all my family is involved in real estate and law and the legal business. And myself, I'm the consultant for uh, foreigners that want to either apply for a visa, relocate, or if you want to do some sort of investing in Panama and you are having doubts, you don't know exactly if it's a good business, you don't know the criteria, you don't know the rules, and you need more information in general, that's who I am for you as a consultant. The idea behind AEX and the law firm and everything that is, I guess we have tried to make it more compact for better understanding, and also because the last time I posted, I think it was 2021, and I don't identify myself as that hardcore consultant that I was before. So I'm a little bit more mature and understand different business models. I also got to with developers that were doing an okay job and how they change their things to become better. And some others have fallen off the tree. And yeah, so the channel will keep its transparent, honest assessment of business in Panama, real estate in particular, but looking forward to make it a little bit better, right? In from my part, I receive your feedback on many things, such as um, language. Some of you didn't understand my Latin American personality, and I just wanted to make sure that the message was not lost because I have too much personality for some of you guys, and for some of you, I am the best, like cursing and being myself, and some of you guys think that is too much for a YouTube channel. So I will keep being better, you know, and I don't think it takes from the consulting itself that I just express myself a little bit with less uh, bad words, I guess. Taking consideration that my language is not English as a first language, it is Spanish. So anything that you want to ask me in Spanish, I can also respond in Spanish. Um, so yeah, I guess that's the preview. In order, also, if you want me to uh, give my credentials out, I guess I can do a video for that, or you can ask me directly. I don't think it's important for now. But what I wanted to say is a little bit of what we were talking about back in 2019, which was the ugly truth, right? Or why the real estate bubble burst in Panama, especially Panama City, and how the pandemic and I guess local government, global economics, many things has happened since then. It's been already 4 years. So I'll try to make a short recap. So back, so because I deleted all the videos, I just didn't want, I guess I'll say the expectation that I needed to keep being who I was in 2019. So I think this is a mature version of the consulting company. We have consulted different types of business and models in various areas, not just real estate, but it always has a little bit of that going on because it's the main thing I do and what my family office as well uh, does. So in 2019, I was of the opinion, and I'm still of the opinion, that you shouldn't buy luxury stuff if or property if you're looking into making a big profit, right? So that's the main idea of that video back then, because it still had a lot of, like, back then there's still like so many offerings that were luxury or above $400,000 that was not right for um, many investors. It just didn't make much sense. They wanted to tell you the story that you will 10x in around 10 years or maybe 2x. Some people were a little bit less, I'll say, enthusiastic, but 2x is a lot in 10 years as well. But it's something that you can also do in, stocks, investing in Standard and Poor's 500 ETFs, and you wouldn't, like, have to deal with the homeowners association and all that is needed. Real estate business, it's not an easy business. It's not an easy investing opportunity if you decide to go for apartments, and you need the HOI to make things for you, make things happen for you. So yeah, back then it was a matter of overpriced assets and opportunities, as well as the fact that there were many empty spaces that were not being moved. It didn't resell. So you had a good property. That's one thing, right? You had a good property, luxury property with great amenities, but it was not easy, and it's still not easy to resell. So yeah, that's one thing that I consider very important. And most of the people that didn't take the advice or the roadmap, as I tell them, because whatever you need in terms of investing is very much a personal criteria. That's how I do the consulting. I will ask you, why Panama? Why do you think it's good for you, a good fit? Um, what exactly you're looking for? What's the return on investment that you're looking for? And if it's possible inside the business model that you are thinking, or that was in a way sold to you by a developer, a promoter, a real estate agent, right? So I've been in that side of things. I actually was part of EXP Panama as an employee, and I already saw other sites that are even uglier. I think even uglier. Some agents have only their interest at heart. Some others are great agents and have your interest at heart. But I decided that I didn't want to be even put into question. So I have, little by little, got out of the agency brokerage business and more into the consulting and what's good for the foreigner or the investor that wants to invest, obviously in Panama, and where should he or she invest, the criteria and not what the real estate agent thinks or what is convenient for him or her. So things have changed in terms of luxury. I think luxury is a little bit less now. Um, there is a lot of penthouses and that cannot be rented. The rent is so low that it's sometimes better not to rent it than it being used. And also the Airbnb business is not as open because at least you shouldn't. It's not legal to do it in Panama City, the Airbnbs. So if you want a short-term rental business, you have to look outside Panama City. That's another consideration. So if you have a penthouse and you're thinking, oh my God, I'm gonna put this on Airbnb as a luxury listing, it should work, but it doesn't work because it's not legal. And the rents are so low that it doesn't make sense. You if you haven't paid for the whole thing, most investors are struggling with the bank um, letras. So whatever you have to pay for the mortgage, some of them are struggling. So right now the numbers sometimes doesn't make sense, and especially when you just don't know. But if you are accompanied by a professional, a good professional, there are some real estate agents that are amazing at helping people with the banks, and some others are not as experts, and that's why I exist. I'm just like some sort of link. So I work for the client and not for the agent, right? So my best interest is yours, not a commission. So yes, in a way that happened in 2019, I was promoting that you guys buy in the either Rollins, because that's one thing that makes a lot of sense if you're patient. If you are not that type of person that you actually are looking for cash flow, then real estate short-term rentals are best, and these work very good in let's say touristic areas, which are not like, we're not Costa Rica in terms of like a ton of tourists, but there is some places that have enough tourists that Airbnbs are good. Bocas del Toro, Pedasi, Playa Venao, I would say El Valle, Boquete. So all these places that do have some sort of touristic allure, right? So it's either Boquete with the coffee or Pedasi with the folklore of Panama. Like they do have a lot of, I'll say, a lot of culture, like Panamanian culture. Benao is great for surfing, so people visit all day, all year round. And yeah, I mean, there's many possibilities, but the thing is that you have to be clear on your criteria. Am I a person that is really patient and want to invest in something that will 10x in 10 years? Does it need to be land? Could it be stocks? Is it easier? It really depends on your budget and what you want to take out of it. Do you really want to retire and then work in Panama? Some people tell me this. Like, I want to relocate, I want to retire in the beach, but I also want a hotel to run. So are you really retiring? Or do you have an idea how you can retire with proper management? Like you could either tell somebody to operate your hotel and you just invest, and we can make that sort of roadmaps and business models for you. That's what we do. So with banking experts, with financial experts, we take all that into consideration, make a marketing plan so you can actually retire in peace and not have another job, I guess. Which is, if you're gonna run a hotel or Airbnb, you're gonna have to take that into consideration. And the other things that you need to take in consideration, of course, would be, is it a blue ocean market? Is it a red ocean market? How many things are moving? Like how many apartments are being sold a year in this price range? Do you know that numbers? If not, ask your real estate agent. These are things that you should has. I'm thinking like must ask questions will be always to ask your real estate agent should be sufficiently thinking about the client that they will tell you some sort of the truth. Otherwise, you can ask us and we'll fetch that information for you for free, because that's what we want to do. We want to be a transparent and proper consulting company that makes sense for foreigners, that they don't feel like they're being taken advantage of, being scammed, or being told things that are not real. And then your investment, like you take decisions to invest based on information that you're being provided by people that sometimes don't are not really looking for your best interest. And this has happened many times before when I was an agent. That's kind of why the main reason I took this other path, because I was really frustrated with the way that lawyers and sometimes these relocation agents as well, there were real estate agents as well in these kind of things where they sell you stuff that's good for them to sell, that's not moving, because you need to invest in a relocation visa. So as an investor, you will invest 300,000 at least. But you need to know how it works. So it doesn't work like you need 300,000 in just real estate. You could also invest in other stuff. You could put in the bank. There's many things that you could do. So you don't need to do one way or the other. Just need to do the way that works for you in your particular case. So it's a lot of strategy to move from one country to another, and also a lot of strategy in the thinking of what's best for my money to work for me, because it can easily go away. Like I remember it was 2019 as well, when I had this client from Poland, and she put all her savings into the business of getting a visa, which I don't believe is a business. It's just getting a visa with the promise from these attorneys that it was going to be a great investment. But it wasn't. It wasn't located in a place that nobody is even considering to develop right now. So it will take years. It won't take 10 years. So this is one of the things that they don't tell you. Like you could invest in raw lands and you can get your money back fairly quickly if you invest in the right area, if it's not overpriced, obviously, if it has some sort of potential to develop in the years to come. But it's not as easy as it was in the 90s, where you bought for $1 and then you could flip the land the next year for $2 or $3 per square meter. It's not that way anymore. You need to make sense of where you're buying. You need to make sure that you have the proper zoning, that you have the proper permits for whatever it is that you need to do. Otherwise, you could be in with a losing asset. Uh, so that's what happened to the Polish client. So she wanted me to work for her as a real estate agent. And when I saw the property, I just knew that I couldn't really sell this if I was a serious person, because it will be giving another client a bad asset. So I couldn't work with her. And the next step was to file a suit, and that's not really my thing. So I'm not the fighting lawyer. I used to be, but I don't do that anymore. So yeah, and yeah, I think that this connects a lot with like hidden things that people don't tell you because they don't want you to know, or they it's not convenient for them to say. For example, in the Chorrera area, where most of the social developments are being built, it's there are some areas where you cannot build because it's so near the Panama Canal and it's protected. And if you don't check, you could be buying property for $10 million that's worth nothing, at least not 10 million, right? So you need to pay close attention to what's being sold to you. You need to double check everything. And that's one of the reasons we exist. Double check, to be there for you, to actually check in the public registry if things are what they seem to be. Sometimes people send you stuff that are not even real. Always ask for your certificate. It only is 3 months valid. So check, always check, like, is this real? Is this certificate real? Is it new? You know, these sort of things. It's very important. And I think to wrap up, the most important thing that you should take in consideration is how many units, how these units are doing in the actual market, and is it sellable? Does it have resale value? Is it convenient for you? Have you seen the rules of the homeowner association if you're buying an apartment? Do you agree with them? If you're in a residential area, what do you know about the area? Is it clean? Is it something that you will want to see in 20 years' time? Do you think it's going to have a resale value by then? Or is it best to invest in raw lands, depending on your budget, on what you want to achieve in return investment terms? Is it better to get, like a joint venture with somebody that doesn't have its, let's say, its asset on Airbnb, but it could be, and you can invest in a little bit of furniture for them and put it up? That's another model that is working very well. So don't think that there is only one way or two. I think there is many ways to actually structure and model a business that makes sense for you in your criteria. So let me know any questions and see you soon.